Welcome to the Think Small podcast, hypergrowth for small businesses. So, what's slowing you down?
Welcome back to the Think Small podcast. My guest today is Joe Garber with Cyberiad AI. Thank you so much for taking some time today. I know that in almost all of our conversations, we talk about AI. So it's cool to have a guest that the business function is AI, right? And kind of give us the back end on, how you got started, what the core competency, core business function is, and what you see the future of the organization being. So thank you again. Welcome to the podcast, Joe.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about Cyberiad, rather.
Yeah, so Cyberiad is an organization that was built from a couple of folks that had some pretty deep AI experience over the last 15 years or so. And for me, for example, I've been marketing AI-powered use cases for at least 15 years. It started off in legal, identifying what might be relevant for a legal case out of potentially millions or billions of documents, and have kind of grown over time. I met with our CEO Peter Sisk, who had a background in healthcare, as I did as well. But specifically around building code for HIPAA-compliant types of organizations, or HIPAA organizations that need to comply, I should say, with HIPAA, of which dental organizations certainly fits into that mold. So we started looking at and interviewing DSOs, dental service organizations, and multi-practice dental offices. Multi-office dental practices, I should say. And what we found as we talked to these organizations was, look, there are a lot of things that we do very well. The clinical part, the meeting with our patients, do that really well. The front office work, the back office work, that's where there's a lot of inefficiency. And the inefficiency can be in outreach, in marketing, and just communicating with people in different languages. There are 35 or so languages that, on average, a dental organization, a large dental organization that is, might have to actually communicate with someone, and even in the United States. And so, there are some inefficiencies in that. How do you find someone that can speak that language or type in that language? The efficiencies on the front office of administration, outreach, those were all things that we identified as potential problems. And in the back office, it was, how do you look across multiple different offices and get a sense of what is happening today? Where are we seeing some potential problems from a revenue perspective, from an insurance perspective, but also looking forward, what can we predict that would help us be more efficient as an organization going forward? Can we predict, for example, people that might be no-shows, that have a higher probability? And can we find a way to put more people in those seats that might be empty, going forward as well? And so there's a revenue optimization, maximization element that's on the back end. So we started looking at, how do you take AI and solve that front office, the non-clinical front office and back office elements of a dental organization, being very conscious of aligning to and complying with HIPAA and security regulations, et cetera, and make dental organizations more profitable, and drive better customer satisfaction. So that's what we started to build, and Cyberiad AI has been an organization that we've now launched. We have out in the market. We're talking to customers and doing proof of concepts with our technology at this point.
Nice. So there's a couple things that kind of pop into my head. You said you've been in AI now for, or AI adjacent or for about 15 years. So I think that you're in a very unique position to kind of talk about the bell curve of use case, right? So I know that from the average layman that experiences AI, or what AI is today, feels like it kind of came out of nowhere, but you've kind of had your finger on the pulse with all of it for about 12 to 15 years. And I think it's incredible when you think about how applicable AI is in today's business world. So maybe you could talk to us about the evolution of this and kind of where you see it going in the near future.
So I think AI, machine learning. So machine learning was kind of the first step. AI soon followed, but we'll call it advanced analytics for this conversation. Advanced analytics was originally, generally speaking, around the analysis component. That's where I kind of came in. It's as I talked about, for what documents might be relevant to a legal matter, or what assets should I protect from a privacy perspective? What information should I protect from a privacy perspective? That was all analysis. What you're seeing today is AI moving to kind of the next level, if you will, and it's creating content. Naturally, that's how most people are kind of using it today, is creating content or getting information from searches, which is a little analytics. But where you see the kind of the big next step forward is around agentic AI. So, and that what I mean by that is, for those that aren't familiar, is it's not just the analysis bit or the creation bit, but it's actually having agents go and perform work in the stead of human beings, and meaning that, or in hopefully supervised by human beings, but often just doing the work for you. So I know that this person is trying to book a meeting. I can go open the calendar with this dentist and book this meeting and send a follow-up notification to that particular person. Those are multiple agents that are taking those actions on the back end. And so that's where we are kind of today, is this multi-agent agentic AI reality. It's the Gen AI part is absolutely important, and I certainly use it every day as a marketer. And that's effective in some of the communications that we're doing from Cyberiad. But the reality is this agentic AI is kind of the next evolution and moving things forward. So I think that's kind of where we are today. It is driving efficiencies for organizations. It's making people learn how to use technology differently. And me is included. So I'm less of a inputter, if you will, and more of an orchestrator of different technologies. So that's a different mindset. And I think that's kind of where we are, as I said today, where I think, going forward, there will start to be some pushback on AI a little bit from a data center perspective. So we're going to have to find some efficiencies there. If I'm being candid with you, I also worry a little bit about what the lack of guardrails, if you will, on AI. And I think that's where you're going to start to see a little bit more improvements, I hope. I often say to organizations that I work with is that AI is a little like crude oil. It's got incredible value in it, but if it's not refined, you don't get the maximum value out of it. And I think putting guardrails on it, making sure there's a human in the loop, understanding what agents are what actions agents are taking, and making sure that there isn't some hallucinations that are taking place in the back end. Those are types of things that I think we're still kind of catching up with, if you will.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. It's like, I know what you mean about it needing sort of that human aspect, when there's been a couple of cases where I've seen it sort of feeding itself, and then it make a copy of itself more than once. And so then it starts feeding itself misinformation, and then all of a sudden it's complete. The whole thing is kind of fabricated, right? Mm-hmm. One thing I thought was interesting was around, I think you forgive me because I'm not an AI guy, but you said agentic, or where it's like doing human jobs, right? Mm-hmm. And you can see that more and more in call centers, right? Where it's like you're calling into customer care, you're calling into a doctor's office or a dentist's office, and they've got a virtual assistant, and you can kind of tell, and it's getting really good. You used to be like, hey, say yes if you want to be connected to whatever, and you would say yeah. And then you would be caught in this feedback loop where it's like, oh, did you say yes? No, I didn't say yeah.
Yes.
But now it grew, and it's like, okay, give me an example of what you're looking for, to be connected to. Now it's so good that it has a cadence. It has a almost like its own personal accent and rhythm, where it stutters. We'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I know what you're looking for. And because it's giving that continued further human feel to the AI receptionist that you're speaking with. And it's mind-boggling. Sometimes I'm like, am I talking to AI or am I talking to a human being? And then I interrupt it and it doesn't say anything. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, it's AI.
Right. Yeah. I just had a call to Amazon the other day. I was trying to return a package and there was a complication and it was obviously an agent and the person, if you will, the agent understood what I was looking for, automatically, gave me a refund right there and sent me a confirmation within seconds. And so,
Yeah.
But imagine if I had done that in Tagalog or Mandarin or Spanish, that makes it even much more complicated, and especially if you're also texting at the same time. So agents are now so efficient with different languages that it can understand that as soon as you start to speak or text or write, what language you're communicating in, and not just do it in that language, but also be culturally aware of what that might, how its communications might impact you.
Yeah, I like that as well. So I'm Cuban. My last name is Reyes, and I didn't learn Spanish until I was an adult. I mean, like I understood very well, but and then I realized, like, I go to my family gatherings and they always ask me, "Oh, how's your Spanish?" And it's not great. I don't have anybody to practice with, but I just feel nervous calling people and talking to them. We're talking to strangers in Spanish. So I started practicing with an AI bot, and like I would just break into Spanish. It would say, "Yeah, let's talk," and then we'd have full conversations. What do you want to talk about? Anything. I would do job related stuff, sports, casual stuff. And then I would switch back to English and say, hey, give me a grade, like grade my grammar, how was I able to, where are some areas of improvement? And it would be able to kind of give me the feedback that, oh yeah, you messed up here, but it was okay. It's forgivable because I understood what you were trying to say. I'm like, it's really cool.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So I'm curious about the scope of the business, right? Like, what's your size and like where do you see the company growing to, right? Because AI, what we know about AI is that it is ever expanding and ever growing, and so tell me a little bit about how your reach, your scope, who you're reaching out to, how that kind of happens.
Yeah, that's a great question, and again, having if you will, grown up in AI over the last several years, one of the lessons I've learned is AI is like a Swiss Army knife. You can apply it to so many different things, and if you're not specific, there's the potential that you don't make any traction in any market. I often say, if you try to chase two chickens, you're going to catch no chickens. If you try to catch one, you got a chance of catching that one. And that's applicable in this case. It's about business focus is really what I mean in this particular case. And so when our CEO, CTO that came to me had this great AI, technology, language agnostic, as we talked about, multi-agent, platform that he had built, one of the things we said is we have to be more targeted. It was at the time we could apply it to just about anything, and there was some truth to that. But in order for it to be successful, you need to start building use cases that are specific to a given market, because you're understanding their pain points, you're addressing those specific pain points, you understand the nuances. And obviously you're building outcomes that are specific to them. So initially, we looked at a variety of different verticals, and we ended up in the dental world, as I just described a minute ago, because we felt like there was an opportunity. But because we're building this platform on a HIPAA-based structure, if you will, trusted and proven technology that's HIPAA-compliant from Microsoft is the technology we're leveraging for that. We can take a lot of different directions. So right now we are a startup. We're focused on dental practices, as I said, dental service organizations and multi-office dental practices. And we think that there's a great opportunity there, and it'll be just in the United States, because HIPAA only applies to the United States, and that's what our structure is built around that. There are related compliance mandates in other countries around the world, and so our intent is to penetrate in the United States in dental organizations first, probably move out to other countries, other regions where they have similar types of requirements from a compliance perspective, because that is one of the harder things to build around is make sure that you're bulletproof from a compliance perspective. And then once we exhaust the dental market, and we expect that to be in a few years, probably 3 to 5 years, we've then got a platform that allows us to, and this is part of our business plan, to then expand to other types of medical offices, smaller to mid-size, maybe even larger organizations, but particularly those that have multiple offices that don't have a single source of truth across their offices from a revenue recognition perspective, from a scheduling perspective, some of the things we just talked about, and then move to optometry or some other other medical
Trying to catch the second chicken.
That's right. That's exactly right. I like it. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I love it. It sounds really, really applicable, especially in your space, right? I'm curious about all this growth that you're kind of projecting. What's slowing you down right now?
Yeah, a couple of things. One is voice of customer. We still want to. I think if any technology that is successful, particularly in AI, needs to understand and who your ICP is, what the key personas are, and what their core pain points are. And we are having those conversations, but we need more of those. And as a startup, which is going to relate to the second thing, which is we're a small team with limited funding at this point. And so funding, which would allow us to scale our team, which would allow us to talk to more people in our given space, our ICP are the two big things that are preventing us at this stage.
Got it. Joe, if somebody here is listening that owns multiple or knows somebody that owns multiple dental practices and wants to get in touch with you, how would somebody reach out and do a demo with you? Or what does the process look like for somebody that's hearing this conversation? It's like, I gotta learn more.
Well, first off, you can go to Cyberiad, www.cyberiad.ai. And there's a place right at the very top that allows you to book a demo or reach out to us, or you can just reach out to me, Joe at Cyberiad.ai. Either way, certainly welcome anyone's input, interest. Love to talk to you about our technology.
Awesome. Joe, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate you being a guest on the podcast, and wish you the best of luck with the near-term chicken catching.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Welcome to the Think Small podcast, hypergrowth for small businesses. So, what's slowing you down?